Good morning, dear students. Let us now discuss the theory of acid-base indicators. So far, we have discussed the different titration curves. The titration curves means the titration along the x-axis, it will be the volume of alkali added and versus the pH, that is along the y-axis. The pH will be along the y-axis, that is what we call as the titration curve. Then next we can go through the theory of acid-base indicators. So already we have seen this indicators, that means they will be showing a color change while the pH will be varying, isn't it? The indicators are substances which will be showing a color change with pH. That is, as pH varies, there will be a color change occurring. And also the color change will be depending on the whether the solution, whether it is an acidic one or an alkaline one. Okay, the color change will be depending on the acidic solution or the alkaline solution. So the indicators will be showing a different color in acidic as well as in alkaline medium. Also, this acid-base indicators, they normally, in the case of, while coming to the case of acid-base indicators, they will be showing a color change with respect to the hydrogen ion concentration. Okay, acid-base indicators will be showing a color change with respect to the hydrogen ion concentration. And also, it will be the H plus ion concentration means if the pH is less than 7, then we can say that that particular solution will be acidic. And also in that particular acidic medium, what happens? The particular indicator, that characteristic indicator will be showing a particular color. Okay, if the pH is greater than 7, that means that particular solution will be alkaline, and therefore that particular indicator will be showing another distinct color. Okay. So that is the main point behind this acid-base indicators. Normally these acid-base indicators will be showing a color variation or a color change with respect to the hydrogen ion concentration. Normally concentrations are represented in terms of square brackets. That is why I am putting it as H plus ion concentration. Okay. And also the theory of acid-base indicators, it was put forward by Ostwald. And the basic concept of this Ostwald's theory of acid-base indicators is that these indicators are normally, they are very weak organic acids or bases. Indicators are very weak organic acids or bases. That is the primary concept, or that is the basic concept of this Ostwald's theory of acid-base indicators. Indicators are very weak organic acids or bases. See, normally we will be using, in the case of acid-base titrations, we will be using phenolphthalein. We will be using phenolphthalein or methyl orange. And also here, in this, while explaining this theory of acid-base indicators, we are shortening this phenolphthalein as HPH. Okay, phenolphthalein will be represented by HPH. That is, while I am writing the equation, I will be representing it as HPH. And in the case of methyl orange, it is represented as MEOH. Okay, phenolphthalein HPH and methyl orange MEOH. See, from this itself, it is clear that this phenolphthalein is a weak acid. Phenolphthalein is a weak acid since it is having H plus, isn't it? H plus and pH minus. So we can say that phenolphthalein is a weak acid while methyl orange is a weak base. Okay, methyl orange, weak base. So here, by using this Ostwald's theory of acid-base indicators, we will be explaining the dissociation or the color change which will be happening in the case of phenolphthalein or methyl orange while we are adding these, one of these to an acid solution or an alkaline solution. Okay. So in general, we can write the theory, the basis of the theory, or we can write the indicator as HIN. Okay, indicator, if it is a weak organic acid indicator. If it is a weak organic acid indicator, then we can represent it as HIN. Okay, so what happens is that this HIN will be in the undissociated form, it will be like HIN, and while dissociation takes place, it will be dissociating as, or it will be ionizing as H plus and IN minus. Okay, it will be ionizing as H plus and IN minus. Therefore, this HIN, therefore we can say that, see here, this is the undissociated part or the unionized part, and this H plus and IN minus, that is the ionized part or the dissociated part. Okay, therefore, while this equilibrium happens, what happens is that this HIN will be having a distinct color, say a color A. Okay, the unionized HIN will be having color A, and the ionized IN minus will be having another color, let it be color B. Okay, the ionized form will be having, the unionized form or the undissociated form will be having color A, and the ionized form will be having a color B. Okay, so let us write the equilibrium constant KIN of this particular reaction. Normally we will be representing the rate constants as K, isn't it? I think you might have studied in your +2 classes. So the rate constant for this particular equilibrium, we can write it as K indicator, since we are representing the rate constant of this particular indicator. That is why we are suffixing it with IN. Okay, so it is KIN. So the equilibrium constant or the rate constant KIN will be equal to concentration of H plus into concentration of IN minus divided by concentration of HIN. Okay, so this is the indicator, the equilibrium constant KIN. Okay, KIN will be equal to H plus into IN minus divided by HIN. So here KIN, it represents the indicator constant. KIN represents the indicator constant. So here, this KIN value, it will be changing depending upon the concentration of IN minus or depending on the concentration of HIN. Okay, that means if IN minus is increasing, what happens? The K this according to this change in IN minus, what happens? HIN will be adjusted, isn't it? In order to keep KIN constant, isn't it? If IN minus is increasing, then HIN has to be decreased. Also, if IN minus is decreasing, HIN has to be increased, isn't it? Thereby, the equilibrium constant can be kept a particular value or kept a constant. Okay, that is how it is adjusting. The value will be adjusting. So here what happens is that the color of the solution, we had already seen the color of the solution depends upon concentration of IN minus or the concentration of HIN. Therefore, we can say that if the solution is acidic, what happens? This H plus ions, if we are if we are having an acidic solution, say HCl. Okay, so if we are having an acidic solution, that means this HCl will be ionizing as H plus and Cl minus. Okay, to this acidic solution, suppose we are adding this weak organic acid indicator, that is HIN. So HIN will be ionizing as H plus and IN minus. So the solution will be having which ion in excess? H plus ion in excess, isn't it? So what happens? In order to keep the equilibrium constant as a constant, what happens? The equilibrium will be shifting towards the left. Okay, in this you have to consider this particular equation. So since H plus, so here which phenomenon will be acting? This common ion effect will be acting, isn't it? The common ion effect will be acting here. So here H plus ions will be in excess. So in order to keep it as a constant, or in order to keep the equilibrium as a constant, what happens? The ionization of this H plus ions will be suppressed. That means the equilibrium will be shifting towards the left. Okay, shift of equilibrium towards left. The shift of equilibrium towards left. then what happens? That means the equilibrium will be shifting towards the left, means this arrow you have to consider. That means more of unionized HIN molecules will be present. Okay, the equilibrium shifting towards the left means more of unionized, or the ionization will be suppressed. More of unionized HIN will be there, or the ionization will be suppressed. Ionization of HIN will be suppressed. Therefore, we can say that, what about the color for that particular solution? The solution will be having color A, isn't it? More of unionized HIN means unionized HIN will be having color A. So, the solution will be having color A. Okay, this is how this indicator is acting. Okay, so if we are having an acidic solution, and to that acidic solution, if we are adding an indicator HIN, the hydrogen ion H plus ions will be in common. So their common ion effect will be acting. So this equilibrium will be shifting towards the left. That means more of unionized HIN will be present, or the dissociation will be suppressed, and therefore we will be having the color A of this HIN molecule as per this theory. Okay. So thus we will be having a color A if the solution, if the weak organic acid indicator is added to an acidic solution. Okay. Next we can go through the case of alkaline solution. Hope you are clear with this shift. Then say if we are adding indicator to an alkaline solution. Okay, so what happens? In an alkaline solution means the solution will be having excess of OH minus, isn't it? Alkaline solution means the solution will be having excess of OH minus. So let us write the equation once more. HIN will be ionizing to H plus IN minus, and this undissociated HIN will be having a color A, and this ionized IN minus will be having another color B. So what happens is that if we are adding this indicator to this alkaline solution, normally alkaline solution will be having OH minus. Say for example, I will be writing NaOH. Okay, so NaOH will be ionizing as Na plus OH minus. So here more of OH minus will be present. So what happens? This OH minus will be combining with this H plus ions present in the indicator. Okay, so this OH minus will be combining with H plus ions, and it will be removed as water. Okay, OH minus will be combining with H plus and it will be forming water. So what happens is that more of this indicator HIN will be ionized in order to keep this equilibrium constant. Okay, more of HIN will be ionized so that more H plus will be released, and again the released H plus will be combining with this OH minus. See here NaOH, it is a strong base, isn't it? So it will be completely dissociated. So more of H plus will be combining with OH minus to form water. Therefore more of HIN will be ionized, and therefore what happens? The solution will be having ionized IN minus. Okay, and what about the color of this ionized IN minus? It will be having the color B. Okay, the ionized IN minus will be having the color B. So the solution will be having more of ionized IN minus with a color B. Okay, so this is how this indicator will be acting in an alkaline medium. Okay, so this is the theory of Ostwald's acid-base indicator. This is very, very important. It's a usually asked question for every university question paper. This particular questions will be there. You can check it. Okay. So you should not skip all these portions. Theory of acid-base indicators. That is why I am taking it as a single video. So next we can go through the action of phenolphthalein and methyl orange as indicators. Okay. So let us see first the action of phenolphthalein as an indicator. Action of phenolphthalein as indicator. See, phenolphthalein, already I said phenolphthalein, it is a phenolphthalein represented by HPH. It is a weak organic acid. Weak organic acid. So the ionization, weak organic acid means it will be partially ionized, isn't it? That is the definition for a weak acid. It will be partially ionized. So this HPH will be ionizing as H plus and pH minus. And also, see here in the case of phenolphthalein, the unionized HPH, it will be colorless. Unionized indicator phenolphthalein will be colorless, and in the ionized form it will be in pink color. You might have seen the ionized the indicator before adding, sometimes you might have noticed the indicator phenolphthalein which is in the dropping bottle, which is in the lab, it will be colorless. Okay, that means it is in the unionized form, and also in the ionized form only it will be having a pink color. That color also you might have observed while during the acid-base titrations in your +2 classes. Okay. So the unionized indicator phenolphthalein, it will be colorless, and the ionized indicator, that is in the pH minus form or in the ionized form, it will be having pink color. So let us see how this Ostwald's theory of acid-base indicators work. So in an acidic solution, what happens is that this indicator HPH, it will be ionizing as H plus and pH minus. Then in an acid solution means HCl will be ionizing as, say, strong acid, so will be completely ionized. So it will be ionizing as H plus and Cl minus. So what happens again, as already we have discussed, both of them will be having an ion in common. The common ion is H plus, isn't it? Common ion is H plus. So what happens? Due to the presence of a common ion, the suppression of the dissociation of the weak electrolyte. So here the weak electrolyte is this particular indicator. So the suppression of the dissociation of the weak electrolyte will happen. So what happens? This equilibrium will be shifting towards the left. Okay. Suppression of the dissociation of H plus takes place. That means the equilibrium will be shifting towards the left. The equilibrium will be shifting towards the left. That is, more of unionized HPH will be there. Unionized HPH or unionized phenolphthalein will be there. So, and also, what about the color of this unionized HPH unionized phenolphthalein will be colorless. So in acidic solution, we can say that this phenolphthalein, it will be colorless. In acidic solution or in acidic medium or in acid medium, phenolphthalein is colorless. That is the point you have to note it down, and also the explanation, it is very, very important. In acidic medium, phenolphthalein will be colorless. So this is the explanation for phenolphthalein as an indicator with respect to this Ostwald's theory of acid-base indicator. Okay, hope you are clear with this action of phenolphthalein. So you have to study in detail the explanation of this action of phenolphthalein as an indicator. Okay. Then the next is action of phenolphthalein as an indicator in alkaline solution. Action of phenolphthalein as an indicator in alkaline solution. In alkaline solution. See, in alkaline solution means there will be excess of OH minus ions. So what happens is that this HPH, phenolphthalein. HPH, it will be ionizing as H plus and pH minus. This is a weak organic acid. Again, due to the presence of excess of OH minus, what happens? This H plus will be joining with this OH minus to form water. So more of HPH or more of the phenolphthalein indicator will be ionized to form H plus and pH minus. Again, H plus will be removed by combining with OH minus to form water. So the remaining solution will be having which ions? It will be having pH minus ions. And also already we have seen the unionized HPH will be colorless and the ionized pH minus ions will be pink in color. Don't get interchanged with these two. This ionized phenolphthalein will be having pink color. So what happens here? The solution will be having pH minus and therefore the solution will be appearing pink in color. Okay. So we can say that in an alkaline solution, phenolphthalein will be showing pink color. In alkaline solution, the phenolphthalein will be showing pink color. So here we can say that the equilibrium, while we are adding an alkaline solution, the equilibrium will be shifting towards the right, isn't it? Equilibrium shift towards right. Equilibrium shifts towards right. That means more of HPH will be ionizing and since pH minus will be having pink color, the solution will be pink in color. So in alkaline solution, this phenolphthalein will be showing pink in color and in acidic solution, phenolphthalein will be colorless. Hope you are clear with this. Then the next indicator, that is methyl orange. The theory behind methyl orange as an acid-base indicator. Methyl orange as an indicator, and also this methyl orange, as I had already written, methyl orange, it is represented by MEOH. So let us write the ionization of MEOH. It will be ionizing as Me plus OH minus. Me plus OH minus, and this is the unionized form MEOH, isn't it? So the unionized MEOH, methyl orange, will be yellow in color and the ionized Me plus will be red in color. Okay, the unionized MEOH will be yellow in color and the ionized Me plus will be red in color. So what happens is that in the case of acidic solution, just as in the previous case, we can go through what about the color change in an acidic solution and in an alkaline solution while we are adding methyl orange. Okay, so in acidic solution, what happens? The solution will be having H plus ions in excess, isn't it? The solution will be having H plus ions in excess. Let us write the equation once more. MEOH ionizes to give Me plus and OH minus. MEOH will be yellow in color and Me plus will be red in color. So if while we are adding or in acidic solution, H plus ions will be there in excess and this excess H plus ions will be combining with this OH minus and it will be removed as water. So what happens to this equilibrium? The equilibrium will be shifting towards the right. Equilibrium will be shifting towards the right to maintain that equilibrium constant or to maintain that equilibrium. Okay. Or the more of MEOH will be ionized. That means the equilibrium will be shifting towards the right. So the equilibrium shifting towards the right means more of ionized Me plus ions will be there, isn't it? More of Me plus ions will be there. Me plus ions will be there. And what about the color of Me plus? The color of Me plus is red. And therefore, we can say that in acidic solution, methyl orange will be giving red color. Okay. In acidic solution, methyl orange gives red color. Red color. If we are taking some some HCl in a beaker and if we are adding this indicator methyl orange, we can see that the color changes to red. Okay. So this is one point to be noted down. In acidic solution, methyl orange will be showing red in color. Hope you are clear with this. If you are studying the first explanation, on the basis of that, you can write both these. That is the case of phenolphthalein as well as methyl orange. Okay. So in acidic solution, methyl orange will be red in color. Then the next one we can go through the case of this alkaline solution. What happens while we are adding methyl orange to an alkaline solution? Again, I am writing the equation. MeOH, in all the cases you have to write the equation. Methyl orange will be ionizing as Me plus and OH minus. MeOH is yellow in color and Me plus is red in color. So what happens? This ionization, while we are adding an alkaline solution, that means OH minus will be in excess. So what happens? See, the solution will be having OH minus, isn't it? So the suppression of the dissociation of this weak electrolyte. The weak electrolyte here is methyl orange. So the suppression of the dissociation of this MeOH takes place. That means the equilibrium will be shifting towards the left. Okay. So here common ion effect is operating. Common ion effect. Which is the common ion present? OH minus is the common ion present here. So what happens? The suppression of the dissociation of MeOH, or the equilibrium will be shifting towards the left. Equilibrium will be shifting towards the left. That means MeOH will be present in that particular solution. And also, what about the color of MeOH? It is yellow in color. Okay. So in alkaline solution, this methyl orange will be giving an yellow color, while in acid medium, this methyl orange will be giving a red color. Okay. In alkaline medium or in alkaline solution, MeOH will be giving yellow color. Okay. So this point also you have to note it down, and also the explanation. Okay. So if you are studying the first part, that is the Ostwald's theory of acid-base indicator, you can explain. You can give a self-explanation. There is no need of by-hearting all this. You just understand and study. Okay. So this is the about the theory of acid-base indicators. Okay. Hope you are clear with this theory. And in the next class, we can go through what are redox reactions or redox titrations. Okay. Thank you and have a nice day.